Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our special showcase Saturday rendition of Star Trek Adventures. I'm the Red Nose Archon. I'll be your storyteller for this little endeavor, and you will see why I chose that word in particular. But it is the year 2162. The newest starship that Earth has produced follows in the footsteps of the NX-01, the Enterprise, the Columbia, and the Atlantis, with a selection of some of the finest Starfleet has to offer in its infancy. The newly christened Federation is taking its first official steps into the much larger stage. The first Federation starship to not only follow in the history of the starships that came before it, it follows in the naming convention of Earth's greatest accomplishments. The final of the NX series, the last in its line, is the NX-06. The Endeavor is the first human-made ship to be able to reach warp factor 7. Every step has been hard-earned, every accomplishment further proof that mankind belongs among the stars. Out past Vulcan, near the Orion system, there is a proposed section for the next starbase. The Endeavor has been chosen to explore the region and offer the best coordinates for this project. With its beginning its second year of its service, the NX-06 is the fastest sports car in the garage. It is the best equipped to traverse distances quickly. With a majority of the Alpha Quadrant unexplored, new planets are waiting to be cataloged. Races of all levels of technology are out there to be discovered. New sights and sounds and scents abound. A selection of the new crew has been assigned to the Endeavor. Old and new faces intermingle in the halls and in the mess hall and the different departments, and though the coveted roles are assigned to the Alpha crew, the Beta and Gamma crews are no less interesting and no less exciting. As the Endeavor flies towards the Valakis system, we slide through the decks to find members of the ship's Gamma crew. With a cruising speed of warp 5, the ship is making good time, looking to arrive 2 days ahead of schedule. The captain and the Alpha crew have encouraged everyone to continue doing their best work, and with their new patches and fancy uniforms, these representatives of the United Federation of Planets are the equivalent of the words that first led humanity to the stars. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Where on the bridge do we find our crew? You are Gamma crew. So the commanding officer right now is Lieutenant Emily Descartes. She's sitting in the captain's chair. The two stations in front of her at a 45-degree angle are helm and navigation. Navigation is Ensign Julia Acosta, also a human from Earth. But the other panel is who?
Oh, that'd be Adam Grayson, freshly arrived out of Australia.
Ensign.
Although he may have been, he may sound Australian, but he's never actually set foot on Earth. He grew up on Mopra Station, the first interstellar station just outside of our own solar system. And being crowded and being a ship-born person, his parents were police, and he's just trying to find his way in the stars. He's not particularly happy to be piloting something this big. He prefers smaller ships.
Going around the crescent shape behind the captain, there are two stations to her left, two stations to her right. The farthest stations on either side are tactical to her left, which is helmed by Lieutenant Zereshan, who is a male Vulcan, and to her right, the farthest station is communications, which is held by Ensign Vela Dian, an Andorian. Stepping in one from either end, directly behind the current lieutenant, we see security. Who's that security?
That would be Brun. He was given a name, Brun the Shield. Name that he didn't like because it's a little gaudy, but it stuck with him up until being transferred onto this ship. He is a Tellarite. So he is probably, it's going to be what? He's about 5'8". He's a little bit taller, taller than average, stocky, barrel-chested man. Just think if Zangief decided to become part of security.
Right.
Unfortunately, the actual outfit that he's wearing is a little tight. It is standard uniform. So he's just hoping that there's something can come in that's a little bit, that doesn't look a little bit like he's going to the gym. He's all
It's medium.
medium. He has a medium on.
Yeah.
But with that, it's just really wide. He has a wide brim nose, although his snout does. It is a very, very small, like deep slope down, but broad nose. I mean, other than that, it's like the wide almond eyes, and yeah, pretty much it. Like his complexion is no facial hair, and also a little bit as far tan when it comes to skin tone. In the region that he came from a colony, he would be outside mostly working agriculture before he got transferred over to the academy. So yeah,
Okay.
to Starfleet. So he was yeah, he's a very tannish man. A lot more tan than I am for sure.
Okay. And then opposite tactical, we have opposite security. We have sensors. Who's the sensors?
Have Ensign Nemue, also known as Nemu, Distro, who is from a mixture of Celtic descent. She's not been on Earth. She wasn't born there. But her father was medical. Her mother was comms. And here she is doing what every Scottish person should appropriately do. Sensors and engineering.
Of course. All of you have been working together since your assignment to the Endeavor. How has it been? The three main crews are Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, but just know that there are supplementary crews that are part of like a Delta crew or an Epsilon crew, and there's always a revolving kind of assignment. So you are never Gamma crew 24/7. You have days off, full days off, just so you're aware. And what happens is that although the Alpha crew kind of sticks to its own, they will always kind of bring up Beta crew, and Beta crew tends to be its own crew, but they always kind of revolve with Delta crew, with the Gamma crew. So just know that you're always kind of working your way up. So Delta and Epsilon have people. They're probably still crewmen. They're also probably the ones that are being looked at or mentored by any of you if you want to be that kind of person. But they are there if you need them. And just be aware that you can at any point assign a lesser person to be your little assistant in a task. So if you can't do something, you can assign it to somebody else and you roll for them to help you get momentum and the other resources that you have at your disposal. Like I said, you have momentum, you have I have threat, rather, sorry, and then you have determination. So be aware that at any point, you can exchange threat and momentum. Like if you don't have the momentum to pay for something you really, really want, you can always give me threat and I will appreciate it and rub my belly like a hungry, hungry bear.
Okay. All right. That's not the image I wanted before we started this, but cool.
Hey, there you go, bro. You're welcome.
He's a helper.
Yeah. So you are probably 3 days out from your intended starting point. You guys are set to map out an area of space, looking to find the best location for this new starbase. I believe it is canonical that it is Starbase 12. For those of you that know anything about the lore. The chosen areas that you'll be triangulating are Deneva, which is in the Kappa Fornacis, Valakis, Orion, and Tau 1 Eridani. If any of those names tickle your gooch, let me know and I'll make a note.
Definitely Tau 1 Eridani.
Eh, right? If you know, you
And
know.
you said Orion?
Orion. Pi 3 Orionis. Orionis.
All right. All right. Nothing bad ever happens around Orion.
Nothing. Nothing.
So we're 3 days out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any readiness drills or anything that we need to be accomplishing right now, or are we just in a search and explore mode?
You're more exploration, reaching out, making sure that nothing needs your attention. Right now, the only ships that are within a week of you are the Enterprise and the Challenger, NX-01 and NX-03.
We're on the edges of the map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Enterprise and Challenger both have warp factor 5 capabilities. The Challenger can push a little more, but the Endeavor is the fastest ship right now. The closest one would be the NX-05, the Atlantis, who can push a little bit past 6.
So 100% Grayson, while he's doing piloting, his focus in uni was stellar cartography.
Okay.
So he's 100% like on paper, because he still likes the tactile feeling of paper, on paper making notes and drawing like ideas of the maps and what we're passing.
Okay.
You know, the ship's on autopilot, we're on warp. He's watching his job, but he's got time to learn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I will say that Brun spending his time, one thing that he rather check twice before using once, measure twice before cutting once. So he'll probably be going to Commander Espen regarding any kind of damage control drills that have been done. If any control drills have been started, just want to know, you know, if there was a control that if we have been doing drills, I want to know what my, like, as far as analysis is of those drills. If there's anything that they have found that I could improve on, is the best way to describe it.
Commander Harriet Espen is another human from Earth itself. What is her mentality as far as tactical and security?
She is somebody, from what I've gathered, is that she, from the 3 days that we've been there together, I could tell that she is good at her job. This is not her first ship that she has a comment, you know, as commander. This is the first time. This is one of the few times that she's dealt with a Tellarite. So she's getting used to the fact that she's getting used to my communication. She likes the fact that I don't talk when I don't need to, but when I do, it is most likely a discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
A discussion.
Yeah. Robust.
Yeah. Which is why probably she's already seen how I, you know, as far as my past discussions with her, has already given her an idea of how I'm going to address every situation or project or task that's brought to me.
Okay.
So,
has Nimue had the same interactions with Commander Espen, since she would be in charge of both your departments? Or would you be more under Lieutenant Istaplau, the science officer?
Being that she has to flow between the two because of engineering and because of doing sensors, not only does it apply to both of them, she actually has kind of like a flow between both.
Okay.
She's more, how do I explain? She's more kind of chummy with the first lieutenant, not the science officer, because he's Vulcan. So
Mhm.
Vulcan is very to the point. This is what you do. This is what you give me. And she gives him exactly what he wants. Boom, 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 boom. She has a little bit more of a friendlier rapport with the other lieutenant because they're human. They kind of get a little bit of a giggle, and sometimes maybe they go to poker nights because you got to do something on the ship.
Ooh.
And the first thing them you learned was throw a poker game, find out who your friends are, who you can trust, and who's going to backstab you underneath the table.
Oh. Is it what is the flavor of the month currently? Is it a constant game of one particular type of poker, or do you guys revolve around the different types, the different game options that you have?
Being it's new crew, getting to know everyone, it's let's find out what everyone's flavor is. So it's a constant revolving door to get people to first learn about poker, learn the different flavors of poker, and then start to get into where they're comfortable at. And there's no money or anything on the table. Everyone gets chips. More of like, hey, this is your, I would say almost like a boon system, like small boons, nothing big. Like,
Yeah.
you want to do this, I'll take this, I'll switch this shift with that shift.
Yeah.
But in her little room, she's got the whole system down of who owes what to what and the whole boon system.
What a nerd.
Hey, you gotta get into the system some way.
Okay. What are you doing at your station right now? Everybody's kind of looking like they're sitting back, enjoying the warp drive. It's all very rudimentary, just kind of like people will glance at their stations and then do something else. Is this traditional? Is this how it's been going on Gamma Shift, do you think?
It depends on where they're at. For Nemu, no. She's always got a book open. She's reading sensors, but she's reading, it's like sensors book. That way she could see the sensors right away if something happens, but she's also trying to expand her knowledge on anything and everything to try and get a promotion.
Oh. What is the end goal for Nimue?
She wants to be chief engineer.
Chief engineer.
Mm-hmm. That's the goal.
Do you have a particular ship in mind that you want to be in charge of? Any of the 6 currently, or do you want to be somewhere else, something non-human?
She'll know the right ship when it comes to her, but she needs to be versed in everything so that when that right ship comes, she'll be like, that's mine.
Okay.
And I know how to take care of it.
All right. Well, let's see if you know how to take care of this one.
Sure.
Let's open up the game with our first roll, shall we?
Oh God.
Oh
Why?
boy.
What?
Let's take the system out for a test drive, shall we?
Primero.
Yeah.
Mein Gott.
It's not going to be a difficult roll. I'm thinking it's going to be sensory related. So,
Okay.
So what do you think? Science?
Oh no science. Absolutely
No?
not science. I would say engineering is my best.
Right.
Because we have nothing in science.
Oh no. I think it would be con then.
Oh, okay. So the one in con, sure.
Yeah. So, what do you think we should tie it with? Control?
Oh my God. Control. Yeah, control sounds awesome. What's my complication range?
1.
Cast scroll.
I don't think so.
Okay. So I'm rolling 2 d20s.
Yep. You've got to get 13 or under.
Okay.
You have a 12 in control.
Please.
You have a 12 in control, 1 in con.
Yep. Under 13 under, got it. Okay.
13 under.
Shit.
Excellent.
I got 13. I got a 10 and a 3.
Oh no!
Okay,
Like each die counts individually.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not
okay, I
adding
got a
them up.
10 and a 3.
Yeah, so you've got You got 2 successes. So
Okay, good.
you've got 1 point of momentum that you can bank right now.
We're banking that one.
Okay.
Nice. Nice.
You
You're welcome.
you're sitting there, kind of looking at the screen, looking at your pad, looking at the screen, looking at your pad, kind of reading reading a paragraph, shifting back, reading a paragraph, shifting back. It's bouncing back and forth when there's a blip that shows up. It's too far away to become a warning, but it is highlighted as a possible issue.
Just look over at the lieutenant in the captain's chair and just kind of gently go, you might want to see this. It's got a little bit of a bloop. It might be nothing, but I'd rather you see it now than wait.
She motions. Bring it up on the screen then, please. Thank you, Nimu.
She'll do it.
Okay. And everybody there will see that there is an object that is set to intercept your current warp tunnel and force you out of warp unless you reroute your course. But it doesn't look natural. It looks man-made, or manufactured rather.
Grayson looks up. Commander, would you like me to adjust course to make sure we don't run into it?
Please drop us out of warp. Nia, can you find out what that is?
Hey.
It's empty space, and I don't like the readings.
Do you want me to roll again?
No. You've got your 2 successes. Does Grayson want to roll? It is a difficulty 0.
Oh yeah, Grayson chooses to bring it out, and he's like, it's just routine, but it's a chance to show him I follow orders, do things the right way.
Okay. I definitely think that's going to be con. What do you want to pair? Control? Sure.
So that's going to be 2 successes. I got a 5 and an 8, and it's a difficulty. It's a target number 16.
Yeah. You have 11 control, 5 in con, so that is 16 or lower. Do you have a focus?
Helm operations, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually have 3 successes because that 5 counts as critical.
That's true.
Oh, I have sensors too. Shit, should have thought of that. My bad.
That's okay.
Dropping out of warp now, Captain.
Yeah. So you've got 3 successes. How do you want to use that? You want to bank them as momentum? Do you want to use them immediately?
Let's go ahead and bank 2.
Okay.
And I'd like to use 1, if it's cool with you, to try and place us in a position where Nimue is advantageous to use her sensors to find out what we're looking at. I don't know if that's like an angle of the ship or something of that nature to
Yeah. One of the uses for momentum is to create an advantage, which is exactly what you're doing. The nature of the task attempted. So yeah.
I slide into it. I what is it? I drift into it.
Yeah. That does cost 2 momentum, not 1, though.
That's fine. I'll bank 1.
Yeah. All right. That's enough. Gives you 2 anyway. So if Nimue would like to roll, it will be a difficulty 0 because of the advantage that you have from his drift into a readable zone. So you don't have to roll if you don't want to.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
As I say, as I throw my dice around.
Right. The ship comes to a slow kind of impulse crawl towards this object. And now that it is actually visible under your sensors and long range scans, it is It is a ship of some sorts. It looks like a weird pentagonal shape, almost like if a traditional Earth rocket had been pushed into a kind of Superman emblem. Like it has a very steep point, but then the other points tend to be smaller and shallower. Definitely not human creation. But
but you're saying that it's smashed into the
no. It is. It looks like it's derelict, like it's just kind of turning over end over end.
drift. Okay, it's
But
drift.
it was gonna drift into your warp tunnel, so it would have forced you to come out or crash into it and explode, violently dying. Ensign Grayson has spared you that the latter.
Yeah. Can I? Would I try to remember security if the actual station I have could check for life forms?
That would be more sensors than security.
That'd be more sensors. Okay.
Yeah.
Life forms.
So again, I think for Nimue, we're going to be looking at the same thing, con and control, or you got
And I can use my focus of sensors.
You can use your focus of sensors.
Yes.
100%.
Does that give me an auto?
It does not give you an auto
success?
anything. It means if you
Okay.
roll less than your con, equal to or less than your con, then you have a critical success.
Okay, so I have 13 then. Got it.
Yeah, 13 again. Yeah, because I don't think it's presence. I don't think it's reason maybe, but it's lower than control.
The only time I'm really sad to see a nat 1. I got a nat 1 and a 12.
Okay, so that one is a critical success, and the 12 is another success because you are rolling underneath. What were you gonna say, Rook?
That she can also roll using the ship systems, and it would be sensors plus science for the ship.
Oh
If you have the
yeah,
ship.
that's true.
No, we're not running science. We have no science.
Okay,
That's why we're going with the con.
it's okay.
The
It's
ship
all right.
science.
Yeah, the ship gives you a bonus to that stat, to that discipline. Yeah, but you got 3 successes. So one is all you needed. So you have 2 left over. What do you want to do with them? Want to use them for?
Bank them.
Okay.
Trying to get to 6.
I mean, sure. Be aware that you could use your momentum to create an advantage, like Grayson did. You can create an opportunity, which is immediate and repeatable. You can create a problem, or you can obtain information.
We'll obtain information. Can we do that?
Okay, so from a successful task, allowing a character to learn more about a situation. Each point of momentum spent can be used to ask the game master a single question about the current situation or an item, object, structure, creature, or creature character present in the relevant scene at hand. So how many momentum would you like to use?
I'd just like to use one of the 2 that I just banked. Just one. We're not going to go crazy.
Right. So before you ask your question, you reached out. There are life forms on the ship. They are faint.
Okay. I'm going to look to the other 2 for any idea of what kind of question I should ask.
Okay.
The other 2 players.
Yeah.
So we're all on the same page.
Sure.
Probably say maybe check the signature of that ship. That would probably tell you where it came from.
Yeah, that's good. Energy type, engine type.
Okay. So Game Master, what kind of ship am I looking at?
Because I said that it was not human and it did not match anything in your records, I will let you ask a different question because I've already answered that one.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's all right.
Go with the energy as far as, because if their propulsion system's done something is different than ours, then we can tell, we can assume the type of technology the
Yeah, what is her energy
people would
signature?
have.
Non-existent, but it looks like it is similar to a reading that you have that was given to you by the Orions. Not to you specifically, but to the Enterprise, who then shared the information. But you don't have anything associated with the file except the name of the species that gave them the schematics and the know-how of how to create this engine, but it just says Ferengi.
Oh.
And being that I have the talent of constantly watching, could I detect if this may be a danger or a hidden enemy? Because of the life signs being faint and this ship is something that we've never seen before, and I only have a name. This seems suspect or sus, as the kids would say.
Yeah. There is an odd sensation at the back of your mind. You grew up on a space station, you said?
Yes.
So you would have had very different horror stories growing up than people on Earth. And the kind of stories that would have revolved around derelict ships in space all kind of have the same beginning, where it's like some ship comes up in it, there's faint life signs, and there's some kind of monster inside the ship that was like, invisible to sensors.
She will bring that up to the lieutenant, saying more of, well, back when I was a kid, this is the kind of horror story that usually starts off with this, because the light signs are faint. I cannot really tell you what this is, except the only thing that's coming to mind is a Ferengi, or that's the word that's coming up. And this isn't sitting right well with me, if you know what I mean.
All right, look, it could be a horror story, or
Oh, usually is. Some
could be a-
freaking. Are you starting to say? Come on here, Ozzy. Let's go.
could be a
I mean,
chance
you
at
said
something new.
I knew like a
you said
monster being
faint.
hit. Eh?
You said faint, right?
Faint, I. As
Okay,
in,
so
I.
that as
Yeah.
in not as in there is sign of life.
Yes. However, you never know if a monster is trying to avoid my sensors.
Yeah. So we're just gonna let this faint. We're just gonna continue on with going without checking this out. If there is lives to be saved, I think that's part of the Prime Directive, is from what I've been taught.
Didn't I just tell you
Bring up a good
what
point.
I've heard when I was a kid?
The lieutenant stands up. Yeah, the lieutenant stands up. Ensign Brun, can you see what you can do about snatching the ship with our tractor beam?
On it, Captain.
Why I didn't go into
What is
medicine.
what's the roll? What's the roll?
Let's see.
Hold on, I got that. That's on my cheat sheet. Wait.
That's on your cheat
I got
sheet?
this.
Nice.
That's on the cheat sheet. All right, so
Tractor beam.
tractor beam, control plus security.
There you go.
Oh, okay. That's not. No, that's horrible.
You are in security. How is that horrible?
You're
I have a 4. I have a 4 in security,
Right?
but I have a 7 in control.
Oh, yeah, you fucked up.
You're assisted by the ship's structure and the ship's security.
Okay.
I want to see if I can use the focus tactical planning. Since I have probably have done this on more so than ever, maybe not be the first time that I've ever had to tractor beam a ship, but I've had to. I would say in the past year that we've been doing this is the second year now that I would have had to use the tractor beam in some form or fashion.
Right. I don't know if that fits tactical planning. You're not setting something in motion.
All right,
you're not. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't feel like you're tactically planning anything. Like that feels very much like you're looking at a battlefield and you're gonna direct troops. To me,
Copy that.
but
Let me see. All right.
yeah. So what was it? It was science and control.
So I got
Wait.
it's science and control.
Wait.
I got something.
Okay.
Can I assist him by bringing the ship into a more advantageous position using my team dynamic focus, using control and con?
Oh. Okay. All right. Let's see what you roll. That'll be a difficulty of 1 for you.
That's fucking teamwork.
Yeah, bro.
Actually, just
Please
one
do.
success.
Okay. So, you don't gain any momentum from it, but you do match the difficulty number. So, the ship begins to move. How are you gonna try to give him advantage?
So we're using tractor beams. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and move him so the tractor beam emitters are over a broader part of the target ship to make sure that he's got a good place to grip onto.
Nice.
Center mass.
I like it.
Yeah.
And you said that the ship gives him a bonus.
Yeah. So when you roll for the ship, you roll 2 of your own dice and 1 die that's the ship stats.
Okay.
And so but the ship stats.
All right.
I don't know what our ship stats are, so I can't.
Where is it?
Will's like, let me search for that real quick while we do this.
Well, no, the bad part that I was telling Rurik about before you guys hopped on is that the game does not take into consideration that people might want to play during the Enterprise era, which is like, you know, Captain Archer, and that first era. Like their ship diagnostics start with the Constitution class, which is the 1701, the first Enterprise. So I've had to, like, you know, slapdash some stats together. So I'll roll for the ship. Do I roll for the ship, or should I let you roll for the ship?
Yeah, dude, you're the one in charge.
No, I'm asking Kenny. Do you want me to roll for the ship, or do you want to add that as a die to your?
Well, I rolled. I
Uh-huh.
rolled already. I got a 5 and a 12, so I got 1 success.
Okay.
So yes, I'll let you do it.
All right.
It is the ship after all. I can't.
It is the ship. Hey, I rolled a 1. Normally, I would be very upset, but ones are criticals. So, so you said you got 1 success plus the critical gives you 2 more successes. It was a difficulty of 2, so you got 1 to bank if you want to.
All right.
Sure, yeah, I'm banking that. All I'm doing is just, you know, forming the tractor beam and making sure it stays in place. I'm not.
Bloody.
We're not flying this thing yet.
So with Ensign Grayson shifting the ship around and kind of matching the angle that the thing is turning head over ass, you grab it and you have enough to force it to stop its spin. And you catch it. It's maybe 2,000 kilometers away from you.
Tractor beam initiated and complete. Are you looking to have an away team go on board by chance?
Lieutenant, permission to pilot Ensign Bruns away team.
All right. Yes. Let's have.
I gloss over at Grayson. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
that's, I guess.
Ensign Brun, Ensign Grayson. I leave it to you to choose your away team. Take no more than 4 others with you.
4. I just want to say, Captain, I understand 4. Is it because of limited resource? Do you not want us to have the accompaniment we need? Usually something like this, especially for a ship this size, is between 5 to 6 team members.
Well, I count 6 if it's you, Ensign Grayson, and 4 more.
I stand back.
You need a fucking army to go storming the castle.
Yeah.
because it just sounded like 3. It just
Yeah.
sounded like 5 when he
Yeah.
said 4. So when he
She
said 4, I thought he meant 4 in total.
no,
is what I was
she told
going
you to get 4 more.
Okay.
But she kind of smiles as she sees that she's won the little altercation. Actually, let's give you 3 extra. Take Ensign Distro with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
I have a patch.
We need
Like
census.
the patch that I have, the transfer patch that I got from as far as being brought onto the ship.
Mhm.
Underneath it, like I slide it out, and you can see that it's just markings. It literally has one long vertical line and one long horizontal line, and on the top right it has B, and on the top left it has captain, and then it's literally just, you see a bunch of marks that has it under B, and you see one slide mark that I put on there for the captain, and then I put the patch back over. I go, okay, everybody has one. Everybody.
But Ensign Distro, if you could please assuage us all of any possible hidden creatures. I trust you more than anyone else.
You know, I'm not very good at finding the boogeyman, but you're absolutely sure of them. You're going, okay. Let me go get my greatsword too at that.
All right. So Grayson turns to Brian. He says, Ensign, your security, you're in charge of what we're doing, right? I figure.
Yeah,
I'll stock the shuttle while you find our crew.
so you're leaving me to get. I can do security. That's not a problem as far as for a tactical advantage. But we're gonna need, besides Distro and yourself, we're probably gonna need help as far as medvac. We're gonna need. You're good with me just getting everybody.
You seem like such a people person.
What do you want to bring with you? You've got 3 slots.
I was about to say, I was like, I am not, whatever. That's the second I was gonna be like, sure, all right. So it's us 3, and you said how many people in total?
You get 3 more.
3 more.
If you just want security people, you can pull from the crewmen. You have a couple of second and first class that are up for on gamma shift.
I agree with you. We do need a medic.
Yeah, I want at least one medevac, like one medic, one medevac. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get a nurse.
Yeah, my one medicine is not going to help you.
All right, Chewie, what's our nurse? Tell me.
You tell me, actually.
Oh, I see. Perry repost.
I think let's have each of you choose the appearance and focus of one of each of these 3. So we'll start with the current officer in charge. Bruin, who are you picking up? And what are they?
Well, I'm probably just gonna get one of the security officers that I work with a lot.
Okay.
It's gonna be before gamma shift, so because I don't want to disrupt. The way I look at it is, I want to make it so that I grab somebody that's not in the next shift after me.
Okay, so not alpha.
Yeah, so not alpha. So
Okay.
I want to get somebody that, that I guess the way I look at it is somebody from Delta team that's signed up for Delta that has potential.
Okay.
I will say he's a Vulcan, makes it a lot. It's very easy to talk to this person because I can argue without emotion is the best way. There is discussion without emotion coming from a Vulcan.
Male or female?
Yeah, we'll go with female.
Okay. All right. What class of crewman are you picking? Since you're dipping into Delta crew, you could actually go up as high as third class. But that would be like your 1/3 class that you're taking with you.
for something like this, it would probably it's from between 1 and 3rd class, right?
Yeah. First class is the lowest, second class is next, and then third class is right before you become an officer.
Yeah, I'll say that this person is 2nd class. They show this Vulcan shows potential.
Okay.
Knowing that they have most Vulcans will show, especially for a Tellarite when it comes to security, will show potential. So yeah, this person already stood out for me. So yeah, 2nd class.
Okay. So we've got a Vulcan female security crewman, 2nd class. Nimu, who are you noticing for the crew for the expanded away team?
Oh, they're old friends. He actually grew up on Earth. His name is Ellis Reiner. Second class engineering with sensory.
Oh, okay.
Helping me out with this.
Yeah. What is he part of the Gamma crew? Is he in a different crew?
He's part of Gamma, but he's working underneath NEMU to try and understand engineering even more so.
Mm-hmm. And you said he was a human? Human male. And engineering, you said, right? 2nd class?
Yes, sir.
I like it.
Do you need I can give you a Vulcan name for the 2nd class if you need it.
No, these guys are red shirts. I don't need names.
No problem.
If they survive, they'll get names. All right, Rurik, who are you picking for? Who did you notice as part of this away team? Rather.
So Grayson, being Grayson, he's actually fairly active, and he tried to turn one of the cargo bays into a footy field.
Nice.
And then teach people who've never seen footy before how to play. And so he became friends with a nurse by the name of Rosar, who's an Andorian.
Okay.
Because he's come in more than once with, injuries.
What are they part of Gamma or one of the lower ones?
Probably part of Gamma.
Okay.
And so as soon as Burns like, oh, we need a medic, Grayson's like, oh, I know just a girl.
Nope. And what is she? As far
Andorian.
as no, but like rank.
1st class. I figure nurses have to be fairly a high,
Okay.
a fair rank.
Yeah. 1st class.
Nurses are important.
Yes. Perfect. So the 6 of you meet up in the hangar bay. Is this a shuttle that Grayson is accustomed to, or is this something new with the Endeavor?
I'm gonna say that we've been on the Endeavor. You said almost a year.
Almost.
I'm gonna say that while he's not supposed to be familiar with it,
mm-hmm.
Grayson spends a lot of time messing with it, and any time that the ship is not moving, he requests the chance to fly the shuttle.
Okay.
He's got to focus on small craft operations. It's really where he feels most comfortable, because it's usually just him and maybe one other person. And so that's like his happy place.
Okay.
And so like other people like maybe have not even looked at the shuttles yet, but Grayson's like, oh baby, it's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, I would say that there's 2 of the newer class of shuttles, which is the ones that you've been practicing with, and there's 4 of the traditional what would become the roundabout in the future. So very, very sturdy, very kind of like Volkswagen Beetle type. Whereas the new one is very much more of like what's the Eleanor? Is it a Cuda? No, right?
A Mustang, a 66 Mustang.
66 Mustang.
Thanks, Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby. Thank you.
So I love that because I was actually going to ask if I could name the ship the Lovelace.
Okay. Yeah, none of the shuttles have actual names. They're just like The main two are Alpha and Beta shuttle, and then the other shuttles are 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That violently insults Grayson, and so he has spray painted on the side of it, Lovelace.
Okay.
Because ships should
Wait,
have names.
is that Starfleet regulated? That's not at all. Like if that is done, and I happen to see it, I will immediately call facilities to make sure that they clean this up.
Okay.
Because
I imagine that's an ongoing thing now.
Yeah, the note it has been made for this week.
Yeah, and I also pledge a petition to see if cameras can watch the ships for vandalization moving forward.
Okay. The engineer in charge of the bay looked down at his pad and he scrolls until he gets to your assignment. He's like, no one is using the shuttles right now, so I was gonna put you in shuttle 4. Is that all right?
All right.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, and he takes you over to one of the Volkswagen Beetles.
Okay, so as long as it's sturdy and gets us where we need to go, it does not bother me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whatever we need.
I just imagine like the second that you're walked over to 4, Adam just like keeps looking at Lovelace. Like why don't we use? No one's
Next time. Next time.
This is what's assigned to us.
Next time, baby. But
That's just,
Poor Terrence Howard.
It's no frills. The ship we're on is no frills. It's literally just get in the box.
Really, there's not even a radio, bro.
Who needs a radio?
Welcome to the no fun ride.
No fun zone.
No fun ride.
Yeah, the Shanklin D Stabenfeld.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
If you wanted fun, go on
Eleanor?
Go on the third deck towards the back to where the actual bar is. That's where the fun is.
That's where the
this
fun
is where
is.
we're actually working.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that one.
So as all of you board the shuttle and take your seats, it comes out smooth. It's a smooth ride. It's a little ship. It's conventional. It is traditional. It is boring. But we will shift from that scene to the next scene. So you do lose a point of momentum. You are down to 3. But as you are coming up, the work that Ensign Brun did to keep the shuttle, the spaceship from turning over its side and grabbing it with the tractor beam, which is still kind of has a rudimentary attachment, so it doesn't go anywhere. It isn't difficult to come in. Their hangar, it looks like a hangar from what Grayson would imagine that space requiring. It's the 2 largest doors that lead into the ship. They look like they're frozen from the outside.
That the actual doors look frozen?
Yeah. Like it looks like there's a little crack. The way the design of the doors fit with the rest of the ship, it looks like there's a little crack that has let space in, and it has frozen over with the pure kind of lack of temperature outside.
So I take it this no frills box that we're in also doesn't have the capability to teleport into said ship, correct?
No, you the
wrong. We're not there yet.
No, man.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
No,
Good.
you beaming technology? That's crazy. That's what you have shuttles for. Yeah. You have shuttles for a reason, my friend.
What's on this shuttle itself as far as attachments, if there is any?
Attachments outside? None really. Like it has the clamps to be able to attach itself to a ship. Inside, you have a standard, what's it called? Selection of like med kits, sensor programs, and little tricorders. The predecessor to a tricorder, rather, which is just a big fucking, what's it called, like a Nintendo Switch of a fucking sensor array.
Yeah.
You have a rifle and a couple of hand phasers.
Mm-hmm. Well, so, I would have already, and this is probably something I would have said before, is that doesn't matter what kind of mission this is, everybody should be armed.
So, you got one rifle and 2 guns, so who are you trusting with weapons?
Obviously, me and the other security officer.
So I said that I was gonna get gear.
Okay.
While we found the purple, I definitely went and grabbed some sort of like welding / laser cutter to breach.
You got that too. Easily acquired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Whoever's gonna, if the medic is gonna be, I would also have this trained where the medic would be with anybody that has a phaser or some kind of pistol.
Okay.
So that, because that's priority in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if I have the weapon and he has a weapon, I'll go. I'll just confirm with Distro. Distro, I don't believe that you have a phaser on you. I think it's best if you have this.
I didn't go into security, so of course I'm not keeping a phaser on me.
Yeah, you say that now until something happens. I would
why I
recommend
got
that.
you. Do you really want me
you're
to
gonna
have a phaser?
Then just be on the lookout for getting yelled at if you get out of range from us, please.
Oh no, I'm gonna be right in the center of you.
I love that Junie was the first one to be like, I don't know, man, there's monsters on board. It's like, oh no, here's a gun. No, I don't want that.
I want to say this shuttle, but I can't leave, so here we are.
Ensign Brun. I suggest we give the engineer the torch. I scored fairly high on my last accuracy assessment. I'll take the gun.
Yeah, he's better with it because I didn't. No, I got 0, my friend.
As long as she has something on her, then I would be my worries would be assuaged somehow. Yeah, give her. Yeah, that's fine.
No worries,
At
mate.
least she has something on her.
I'll stay with the engineers.
So, but is there a place to actually dock to those doors?
Not to the main hangar doors. You would have to find what looks to be like a port, like a exhaust or intake.
Yeah, that was
port.
my next question. Yeah,
it's not difficult for you to clamp onto that and work your way inside.
Yeah. So, Distro, could you run a scan to see where the closest port is that can fit the size of the ship that we're on?
Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing that'll fit the ship. You'll have to do a walk.
Oh, you mean in suits and walk out there?
Mm-hmm. You can clamp onto the ship, and there's access ports that you can go through. But they're human size. They're like maybe 10 feet in diameter.
This is why we joined Starfleet.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, there are suits for everybody. And
so
Bruins is snug.
I clamp onto the side of the ship, and I'm like excitedly getting dressed. I'm like going on a spacewalk. Guys, do you know how rare it is to get a spacewalk on your first real mission?
Grayson is the only one that's excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is.
Like, figure. That's how you get to be on the Enterprise. That's how you get to be at the front lines. That's how you get to map new things. Imagine spacewalks.
Fucking engineers have to go into spacewalks not very much.
I would recommend. I would recommend Grayson to hold your excitement in and wait until something actually happens, please. I need you to be 100% focused.
think
Aye,
he's
sir.
going to be
Thank you.
focused.
100% focused, laser focused, phaser focused, even.
These are focused.
Still don't understand this. it's I am so blunt into the Brun is so blunt into the
Yeah.
point that he just doesn't understand.
When
That he's still
Start
getting
with my
used
seat.
to the vernacular that some people use,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just
the moment that everybody's suited up, the Vulcan kind of gives a final nod and pressurizes the inside of the ship, and you feel that oxygen just being sucked out. And then once the green light hits, she hits the button, and you see the doors open, and there is space out in front of you. You can see the Endeavor, the NX-06, kind of far enough away that it just looks tiny, like shuttle-sized compared to you. But the rest of the ship just looks like a massive slab of steel.
I'll go ahead and I'll send the Vulcan security officer first
Mhm.
to open the hatch door so that
Yeah.
I'll be the last to go out to make sure
Yeah, her and the
everybody
engineer
gets in.
go over so they can blow torch it open.
I stay with the engineers, as I said I would.
Yeah.
But I look over at Destro and her friend. Doesn't the devil look beautiful from out here? It's just them lines. They're just sleek.
Humans
Be
always
very
sound funny.
enthusiasm. Really am. I'm excited that you're excited. But I like to stay on the fucking ship.
But if you stay in the ship, you can't see it from the outside.
I don't need to see it from the outside. I'm supposed to work in the inside.
Ah,
That's what we're gonna get. That's what we're doing. We're getting you inside.
Yeah,
Just
wrong ship.
But the Vulcan kind of looks over at Nimue. Ma'am, if you could try to scan the ship for schematics so we know where we're going once we get inside, that would be appreciated.
Working on it already.
Excellent.
I knew you were going to say it. And she is already scanning. Do you want me to roll?
Yeah. It is not a human vessel. What are we looking at? What do you think is going to be a scan roll for you? We already know that science is terrible for you.
Were you doing life forms or are we doing the actual scanning of the ship?
Actual
That's
scanning
what
of the ship.
Then I
Engineering?
think it's engineering and engineering, either control or insight.
All right, we'll do engineering and insight.
That is
would I be
14.
able to assist considering tactical planning? I would want to be able to look at I would be able to like based off of ships and how they would normally be built, whether or not this is alien. I would try to focus on the area as far as tactically what, looking through the well, I guess this would be the planning after the scan then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay. So before you roll, we're looking at, you said engineering and insight. So it's going to be a total
14.
of 14.
Plus, I've got the sensors.
But you got sensors on you. You're not on the ship, so it's not a ship sensor. It is just a tool that will count towards your helping you with this. I'm gonna make
Can I add?
What?
Could I add constantly watching to this? Because I am watching while I'm scanning. And that's going to be detecting danger and hidden enemies to reduce the difficulties at the same time.
When you attempt a task to detect danger or hidden enemies. I don't know if you've got to map out the ship before you detect hidden enemies or danger. So for this one, it will not count.
Okay.
So you're looking at a 14. I'm gonna say because it's alien to you, it's gonna be a difficulty 2. So you've got 2 dice automatically. You can use momentum to buy extra dice on the roll. The first die you buy is 1 momentum. The second die is 2 more momentum. And then the third die is 3 more momentum on top of that. That's why you get a maximum of 6 momentum at any point.
We're at what? 4
I mean,
momentum right now?
You're at
I would
3.
definitely
Three.
buy one.
3.
Yeah, I would say that if you need to, just buy one.
All right, I'll
Like
buy
not
one.
now. Wait till after. Can you buy after the roll?
No,
or
you
before
gotta
the
buy
roll?
before
No,
the roll.
you have to do it before.
Oh, then
Yeah.
buy it. Then buy it for sure.
All right, so
Okay.
just 1.
Yep.
All right, that'll give you a third die to roll. And you're looking at 14 or lower.
Get your back. I got a 5, a 2, and a 12.
Okay.
Hey, you got us back our momentum.
There you go.
Hey, back up to 3. It takes you about as long as it takes the engineer to cut through the locking mechanisms on the exhaust port, but you get a rudimentary scan of the ship and how far it is spread out. It goes tip to tip. You do see on the second level beneath you the large cavity of what is the hangar bay that you were trying to get into. The ship only has 3 actual levels, 3 decks for its size, but they all look larger. Like they accommodate a larger kind of creature. Easily, each of the decks is about 15 to 18 feet tall.
He just turns around and shows the schematics as the doors are being brought open, kind of like showing them like,
Oh, that's fascinating. Ship corridor is that high. Not worried about size. Not worried about needless use of space. Very interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like It sounds like this is a carrying vessel.
Oh,
If you're gonna hold something that large, which begs to
yeah.
differ. This is also. Considering this is a Ferengi ship, how much would I have known in my limited time being with Starfleet? Is there a way that I could? Because what I'm trying to figure out is, Brun is under the understanding that this could be a transport ship or a vessel that holds large quantities of something. So,
Given the size, you know from Tellarite records, there's no real creatures that big that match the description of this ship. So you it's not a hard leap to see like this is meant to be transport. Like this is like you would imagine that the corridors are large enough because they're transporting cargo. Like there's a lot more space for things than people.
Forklift certified.
Yep.
what I want to do is with now the schematics, I want to go ahead and just tactically, I want to use that to base then what we've known for as far as the life signs that are faint. Are we able to pinpoint where on the ship they could be at?
Yeah, it looks
Before
like
we've gone here?
they're in what would be a medical wing.
All concentrated in that area?
All are concentrated in that area.
Okay. So, and where could I also then check from where we went into close to where the hangar is. So from the hangar, we would know then how far the sick bay is from
The 4 major locations of this vessel are the cockpit towards the front, the hangar bay, which you are maybe 300 meters away from, the med bay, which is on the lowest level, and then the engines all the way in the back.
So
I want to go ahead.
Oh, no. So I've got a talent called methodical planning.
Okay.
And so what it is that I make a trait for the plan, and at any point that someone tries to use the trait while we're on this mission, they get essentially I'm assisting even though I'm not there.
Okay.
So Grayson, I'm getting the feeling that Grayson's fairly young.
Sure.
And he says, so I wasn't really trained with the original crews, but being part of the MOPRA, we had very specific ways of how we cleared ships, front to back, make sure the engines are secured, medics in the front. Now, even though that's where the life signs are, we need to make sure that the engines aren't critical and we're not going to explode while we're standing on there. And essentially, I just go into this whole thing to create a trait for our plan.
All right. What trait do you want to create?
So the plan is clear the Ferengi ship. Let's call it let's call it slow and steady.
Okay.
Slow and steady.
Gotcha. I like it. Once inside the ship, I will give you 3 other traits that I think fit as you come in. There are no lights inside, so all of you have your little headlamps on. So immediately the one thing that jumps to mind is isolation. Loneliness. No, isolated and loneliness are similar, so I'll go with cold instead. And then broken. So the traits coming into this scene will be cold, isolated, broken, and slow and steady. Does it cost you anything to create slow and steady?
No.
Very nice. And since we are shifting scenes, I will eat up another one of your momentum, bringing you down to 2. But you have entered the ship.
I'm gonna immediately just use I don't know if it would be small unit tactics, so this is technically a small unit, or tactical planning. If we're gonna do slow and steady, then the best course of action is it's a 2-prong approach. Then it would be one team that goes specifically for the life signs that would possibly need care. So that would be the medvac. It would be one of the science office, well, one of the security officers, whether myself or the Vulcan. And then we would have another unit that would actually start doing a sweep, because there's a reason why the ship is in drift. I would want to venture to say, hopefully this is just a tail of a monster, but this is something that does need to be looked over. So, I would probably be the one with the medvac, because that's a high priority for the life signs. So I'll charge myself to do that while everybody with whoever the rest of the team that wants to go out. I imagine Distro would probably not want to venture around the ship.
But send the 2 engineers. Send the 2 engineers to the back with 1 person, and then the other 3 go the other way.
It's however the ship is set, because the idea is that this is, until further notice, this is a rescue mission. So you want to be able to treat this as a rescue mission, and obviously this is search. So if we want to take it slow, we can. Best thing is to make sure that the people that are taken care of first, whoever the life signs are, and then from there we just we can meet up, complete the sweep. I think that would probably be the best thing.
What were you gonna say, Julie?
Constantly watching is active, only because if I'm going down if I'm going into engineering, and this is a dead ship, sabotage is in my back of my head right now.
Sure.
So don't know if
Nimue is
there's
paranoid.
traps or who's the game master.
I do not disagree with your assessment. I don't like it.
I don't like the fact that you're prepping. I don't. Why are you prepping?
Why can't you all just move as a group so I can kill you all at the same time?
And some Broadway. Permission to take the engineers down to the engine room.
A permission granted.
All right.
Keep communications open. I would say keep communications open, but only use when necessary. We don't know if well, for right now, we have to treat it as though someone else could be listening to our frequency.
Treated as hostile. Understood, sir.
Well, and break. Break.
So,
I'm trying to keep that Scottish in right now.
yep. So we've got a team of Brune, the Vulcan, and the Andorian, and then we've got Adam.
No. It's Brune and the Andorian. I want to keep one other security officer to go. One security officer to stay with the medvac with the medic, and then one security officer to go with whoever the team is that's going out into the ship.
So do you want to go with the engineers, and I'll go with the Vulcan and the Andorian? That way, there's one security on each side. I've also got field medicine as a focus, so I can help the nurse.
That's probably a better that could also work. It's no argument on this side yet. And why is your hand raised?
Like,
No, I'm just
like
that's exactly what he says. He's just like, why is your hand raised?
Because I wanted to try and at least get a word in while you two are bantering back and forth. And the only way to get your attention was to do this.
Sorry.
Hey, Distro.
How about the two engineers and your security guy go down to the engineering room to find out what's going on, and the rest of you, because medical facilities and whatnot can do what you do, the rest of you go forward.
That works.
You're saying to actually fracture the two teams into three is what you're saying? That
No.
doesn't sound. That's
two engineers and a security only needed worry to think about the engine. Because most of the life signs are up front. So you're going to need more manpower and more hands on dig in the front where all the light signs are, right? It's simple math.
So three and three.
I mean, it's 3 and 3 right now, and plus Grayson just went ahead and advised that he has some expertise in medicine, so he's going to be with the medic as well as the Vulcan. You have to give me a name because I can't keep calling her the Vulcan. It just sounds bad. It's like you're gonna be with the Vulcan.
God, man, making me give people names.
I have a name.
All right, give me a name.
I have a name. Yeah, Teepa.
Tupac.
You know, T apostrophe T apostrophe P-A-H.
Okay. So fucking
Teepa, which is Vulcan for red.
Right, yeah, like all the other fucking tapas in the lore right now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, who made the engineer? Was that you, Junie?
I did. Ellis.
Ellis
Richer.
I'm just calling him Ellis. I don't give a shit about his last name.
Tyrion knows what I'm talking about, so it's all good.
And Rurik, what was the Andorian's name?
Rosar. R-O-S-A-A-R.
R-O-A-S-S-A-R?
No, R-O-S-A-A-R.
R-O-S-A-A-R?
Mm-hmm.
Double A-R? Rosar. Okay.
I mean, you called them red shirts, so she's red. That's it.
Yeah.
At least Tapa.
I like that we were on the same boat because Rosa
is red. They're all red. Ellis.
Yeah. No, I turned around and brought in Tira into this. It's all good.
Okay. So wait, is Ellis known as the spotter of the crew?
How did you know?
Wow. Is that Spotter's real name?
He lives on an island?
But yeah, that's what Spotter's real name is.
Wow.
It's Ellis Richer.
What a fucking spoiler to give people who are fans of both channels.
That's okay. Yeah. It's fine. Little Easter egg.
Yep. Wow. Didn't even ask for his permission in doxing him after the conversation we had at the beginning.
Oh no, it's Spotter. It's a character. It's not a human. It's okay.
All right, you win this one.
It's all good.
So we have Adam, Tapa, and Rosar going down into the med bay, and then we have Brune, Nimue, and Ellis going into the engine room.
Yes. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, keep. Yeah, so in other words, everyone's gonna die on that floor. That's what's gonna happen.
No. When are you guys splitting up? Are you splitting up like right as you come down the exhaust port into the main second deck, or are you the first deck actually? Or are you gonna explore together for a little bit before splitting up?
I'm in favor of splitting up and making sure that the engine is safe and the life forms are safe.
Yeah, that's probably the first priority.
I think after our lovely security guy gave us that such deep, empowering speech, we just kind of went 1, 2, 3 break and
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I literally did that. We were on the we
Yeah.
landed
Yeah.
our feet. We said what we said, and I go and break, and then we
Yeah.
just we just start.
Mhm.
Yeah. Federation on 3, family on 6. I get you.
Yeah.
All right. So having shared Nimu's map with everybody, you start to make your way to your respective assignments. You notice that there are rungs at certain junctures that lead down into angled vents. The vents themselves are also like 16 to 18 feet in diameter. But it looks like the rungs aren't how you're used to seeing like an access tunnel in Federation ships or like human and Vulcan ships, where it's like the ladder is in the middle and it gives you the most space. There are 2 sets of rungs that go down at a 45-degree angle from like a center point of the tunnel itself, which is weird at first glance. It's either these creatures are large and do not have the interior kind of range that humanoids have, and so their wingspan is a little longer, a little larger, and their center cavity is not accessible, or it's meant for more than one person to take it at the time.
I mean, we have knowledge that this is a Ferengi ship. We have also data that Ferengi, the actual size of the average Ferengi. So, I wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't believe that they would need just one person for this size. It seems like if it is just Ferengi on this ship, then they are moving like as a cluster.
Well, you don't have anything on the Ferengi as a race except their name.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ferengi have not been discovered yet. The only thing that Ferengi stuff has kind of made its way into the Enterprise and the rest of the Federation is that they exist. One of the races that the Enterprise came across said that the Ferengi are the ones that gave them the ability to go into space. And so
Copy.
the engine of this ship is very similar to the references that were made when the Enterprise discovered that race.
Okay. So, all right. Well, apparently,
But yeah, as far as Ferengis are concerned, they could be monstrous. They could be fucking,
Yeah,
18 feet tall.
It could be anything.
yeah. I recommend, if we haven't already done this,
They could have sharp teeth like sharks and be assholes.
Yeah, I look at Grayson. Look, judging by the size of these things, I recommend again, everybody, set your phasers, set your actual weaponry on stun. This may change depending on the situation that we're going into, but for now, we're treating this as a rescue mission.
Understood.
So yeah, well, we'll continue down. We'll continue to the actual sick bay area.
Yeah. So sick bay is all the way on the 3rd deck at the bottom. The engines are in the middle of the 2nd deck towards the back of the ship. So in height order, we'll check in on the engine team. And as you are making your way back with Tapa and Rosar, it is odd because you know that you are in a place that has the absence of light, except for like the headlamps that all three of you have. But it almost feels like the further back you get, the closer you get to the engines, the darker it feels around you. And external temperatures are reading frigid.
Yeah. This is accurate. She does make sure that all of her sensor data gets sent to the other team so they are aware of the conditions they're in.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not good.
It looks, once you get to the actual engine room, the doors look like they've been barred from the outside in. Like people have put debris and detritus and other items and large shapes in front of the door.
To stop us from going into or keeping us out of?
No, to stop you from going in.
Hey, lads.
Yeah. Go for Brun.
You're right next to her.
Oh, okay, we're together. That's right.
Yeah. Ellis, you and Ellis are with her.
Okay. For some, I keep getting confused on the actual people that got broken up. So paramedic Tapa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tapa is with Grayson and the medic.
Yeah, Tapa's with Rosar and Adam.
We're pretending to be medics. I got this.
Yeah.
This.
Okay. I got a bandage.
But the idea was that to have at least one security. But the idea was to have one security officer with, regardless, with the medic.
Tapa is the security officer.
Tapa, medic, and Grayson. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tapa's security.
The Vulcan, as I called her, and you were like, she needs a name.
Yeah. We're good.
Okay.
So it's me, Distro, and okay.
Alice.
Copy that. Looking at
no good.
Is there any? There's no opening, anything that you can look to on the inside of past this ship, past this door.
I'm gonna be blunt with you.
I'm asking the game master.
Oh, sorry. I'm confused.
I thought you were asking Nimue, and I was like, please ask her to find a way to look into this room. It looks like peeking up behind some of the boxes and flotsam and jetsam that have been pushed in front of this door, that it looks like there's two viewports, like crescents that have been broken up by the center of the door.
Okay.
Very similar to Starfleet, kind of like, there is always a window into the room.
Let me go ahead and I don't mind checking to see, because we obviously need to see why this has been obviously barred.
If you make a motion towards the door, Ellis would just kind of slump his shoulders in defeat and then pull out his little sensor array and start to work on the door mechanism.
Yeah, just don't open up the door yet, please.
Oh,
I asked.
No, I wasn't going to.
Dude. Same page.
Yeah. Okay. So
I would love it personally if this door never opens again.
Right there with you.
Well, I mean, the whole point of being here is to see the reason why this has failed. If the engines have failed,
that's why I'm here at the door, sir.
Okay. I guess we'll talk about this later. So let's just get up to the.
These show and Alice just
right.
look at each other like we
just-
understand. We're same page.
I mean, I'm just like already in my mind mentally. I'm like, needs to be brought up as to why you don't want to do your job. Just putting that there, I'm just like, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing to do with your job, but this is okay.
You move aside some boxes to give you an angle up into the window, and it looks like it's been streaked, like some kind of paint or liquid has been kind of smeared on the inside of it. And you don't know if it's to like hide or to serve as a warning, but it's very difficult to see inside. It looks like it's empty, like there's nothing inside except the engine itself, but everything looks to be off, like there's nothing even on standby mode.
You're gonna hate me for this,
Can
but
I-
constantly watching, I'm gonna do while he's looking,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna try and see if I can identify maybe that smear or if there's anything else while he's looking as well.
Okay. If you
Okay.
if you pop up into toward the other window on the other side of the door, it looks like
I'll be
paint,
brave like him. Paint. Is it what color?
like a purple, like a deep purple.
But it doesn't have the consistency of blood.
It doesn't.
Okay. Did you get any headway when it comes to the sensor on that door?
Ellis looks up. It's. I'm gonna have to go to the cockpit, sir, to the bridge, and try to reroute power from somewhere else. There's nothing coming to this part of the ship. Everything looks like it's going straight to the medical bay. There's some kind of relay in the cockpit that's keeping this part of the ship frozen, as it were. No pun intended. And he kind of smirks. You can tell that
Right, that's
he
what they're-
thinks he's fucking the funniest person on this mission.
And I look at him like, you're not. you're not at all.
Yeah.
Grayson's not here with us right now. So
She'll actually
Um,
look to you.
Mhm.
She'll look to you and she'll go, actually, they're on life support, so they would have shut down all the engines and everything out and rerouted it to medbay to keep everyone alive as long as they could. So that would be standard procedure.
But even Ellis
You're-
looks
you're
up and he's like, right, she has a point, but you would want to have something on standby. You would have to have in case of a
They-
rescue or anything. People need
Well, if
access
they
to
had
it.
enough power, that's the problem.
well, 'cause we don't know how long the ship has been. We don't know how long the ship has been drifting up until
Right.
we arrived. So for all we know, the residual power has been anything, even on standby, could have already been depleted to this point. Right now, they're on technically mood lighting at this moment.
I could leave a sensor here so that when we give it a little bit of juice, it could keep the doors open for us. Just in
Hey,
case the power goes out
hey.
again, we could do that, sir.
Hey,
We could, but we don't. I don't. I'm not. I'm not confident enough to have these doors open to begin with. So
no, but
to start with, so I'm
right.
sorry.
But what he's saying is, it puts a sensor. We'll know what's going on over here at least, and we don't have to have eyes on it.
Because
I agree with that.
the alternative is to leave one of us here, and he looks at Nimue and is like, and they won't be me, sir.
It's better to stay together at this point. So yeah, please leave the sensor. I want to go ahead because we still during this time there's still comms that like the actual
Yeah, you can talk to each other.
yeah.
But it's one of these,
Um,
man. We got the
Okay, tricorder.
Yep.
Just taking out the tricorder and talking to each other. So
The
I pull
flip-
out the tricorder.
flip phone.
Yep.
Grayson, calling in Grayson.
Go for Grayson. How's it going down in engines, mate?
Yeah. So engine. It looks like the engine room is barred completely, and it right now it's been covered so we can't see on the inside, and it's also been encased with debris and other kinds of instruments to be used to bar anyone from going inside. Based on what Ellis has advised us, we have nothing, no power other than what's being directed towards the med bay, including any kind of standby power. So, have you guys already arrived to the bay doors?
Just a couple of
I mean,
steps away.
to
sir.
med bay.
Just a couple steps away.
Just a couple of steps away. Ellis's plasma torch wasn't enough to cut through the debris.
Okay. Based on I look at the schematics based on from where we're at to where they're at. How long do you think it would take?
To get from the engine to the
Roughly.
medbay,
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes.
Okay. What about from there to the cockpit?
Same. It's just that to get to the cockpit, it's a straight line on the deck. To get down into the medbay, you would have to find the access tunnels and traverse them. But Ellis
Distro, do
does,
you think that?
Ellis does look up at you once he says that through the communicator. Like, I could stay here and pry open the door, but there's no power going to the engines themselves.
Say we go to the
Prying,
cockpit.
yeah, prying is not what we're gonna do. Please leave it. I would say, Ellis, to leave the sensor, so that we're aware of any changes before we arrive here, if there is happens to be any.
Aye, sir.
Um,
And he starts getting to work.
Grayson, we're gonna go back to the tricorder. Grayson, we're heading to the cockpit to see, as far as the power, see what could be the reason why everything, including standby power, is going to the med bay. Why, and to see if there's any working, functioning systems here. But please keep us up to date on what you find on your end.
Absolutely, sir. Let me know if you need anyone to pilot this thing.
I completely shut off communication. I'm just like,
We're done.
we're done.
Yeah. As all of you were getting to the engine room, we go back and we fade into the Adam and the ladies group. And as you're making your way down to the lowest level, you start to see that there's flecks of paint down here. It almost looks like there was a water balloon fight with paint. You see splashes here and there, bursts that look like something cut off the color. And as you get to the med bay itself and you come around the corridor to where the doors are that lead to it, you'll notice that they're frozen over as well. And the temperature here has dropped severely. And there's what looks to be this graffiti on the wall opposite the med bay doors. It looks like language, but it's nothing you've seen before.
Oh, that can't stop me. I can't read.
Oh, look at that. Words. Who would have thought?
So I look at Tapa.
Yep. Oh, did we lose? Yep.
I think he froze.
Wow, what a fucking...
So I look at Tapa, and he's still looking at Tapa.
He's looking at the paw.
He's no longer looking at the ball.
Nope.
So I just crashed. So, but I am here.
All right. As soon as you come back up, we can find out what you looked at the paw to do.
Look, conveniently. Oh, did you pause the stream?
No. There's no pausing, but we're live.
Oh, good. Well,
We're just
okay.
waiting for you to come back
This
up.
is all.
In that case, so I look at Tapa.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. As far as I remember from our training, the phaser pistols can be used as a small heat source, and we should be able to use them to saw these doors and get in, right?
Logically, yes, that would be one use of the phaser.
Excellent. Well, then let's get on it.
She pulls out the tricorder, and as the other team is walking towards the bridge, you just hear "Doodle-doop." Ensign Brune. Ensign Grayson would like me to use the phaser on the doors to the medbay since they've been frozen over. Is this a viable use of force?
Tapa, as it's stated that it does not go against our Federation ruling, correct? As far as there's no violation on using this device for this. I believe this is also used as standard in case you do not have a saw, an actual tech saw with you. Is that right?
Logically, sir, yes. The phaser could be used. I am worried that it would drain the power. And should this turn into a situation that it becomes necessary, I just need clearance from you, sir.
Of course, I would say do not use this. Use it as in burst, so it reduces the amount of it reduces the amount of energy being used from the actual phaser.
Understood. And she hangs up.
Yeah. Good. I like that.
You know, to Paul.
Kurt, bro.
Yeah, man, you need to.
I'm uncertain that we're going to be friends.
She looks at you. She's like, "This, I don't see how this has anything to do with a burgeoning friendship." And then she does the first burst on the door.
I'm actually going to also work with her on that.
Okay.
Because I also have a phaser. But hold on, because Roll20 ass-bloated.
Oh. Yeah, there's no real roll necessary. You're just fucking shooting at an inanimate object.
Good. Because you're right. I have no shit like 5 different windows, each with their own tabs, and I could not remember where the hell Roll20 was.
Correct. But it takes you a good portion of time to break through the ice, and you notice that it's the same thing. The doors are slightly open, but they've been allowed to just have environmental like freedom. Like there's been nothing to keep the environment away from this area. It's almost like they were forcibly closed. And inside you will notice that there's these pods. There's kind of frosting on them. It looks like they've been cold for a while. And inside each of the pods you can see humanoids ranging from like 3 and 4 feet tall to about 6 and 7 feet tall. They all look like they have these thin, emaciated bodies, almost like the little gray men from traditional Earth UFO stories. But instead of like the bulbous eyes, they have these very, very small eyes. All of them are closed, like they're all asleep, dormant. But the sockets are small. The nose looks to be impacted on all of them, and just very small footprint on the face. And it looks like the mouth kind of comes down instead of across. But you'll also notice that all of them have these ridges that come up and form a crescent shape. It starts at about the end of the eyebrow and then goes around the crown of the head and all the way back around to the other eyebrow. All of them have a similar shape, like it always goes up and around. But there is a couple of them that you can see are off to the sides, like the main group, and it's about like 2 or 3 dozen are in these kind of diamond pattern, and on the outsides you will see similar shapes, different coloring to them, but they only have the one ridge that goes straight up from the bottom, from like the top of their mouth, straight up to the back of their head. It looks like. But
Does
the
it look
paw,
close enough to say that they're like the same species but subspecies?
yeah, it's not too difficult to like their similarities are too close that their only difference is the ridge. And T'Pol kind of looks at Rosar, and Rosar is like frantically flipping through her pad. I don't have any of these on any of the collected species.
All right, so we've got something new. Rosar, mate, start seeing if you can figure out anything with life signs. See if there's a way to seal this chamber so that we can get environmental controls again. Paul, you're on security. You watch the door.
Understood. And
Uh,
Rosar's like,
I'm gonna.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if what we did to the door might have jeopardized them. I'll see what I can do. And she pops open the control panel and she starts to try to hotwire her pad into it.
Okay. I'm actually going to, while she's trying to figure out the pods,
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and figure out the door and life control, life support. That's what I was looking for. Life support for this room at least.
Okay. Is that something you feel
And
like you want to roll for? Because I think it would not be more than a difficulty 1. But you also have a medical person that's already working on that. I don't know if you want to just let her.
No, I'll just let her handle it. But I
Okay.
do, you know,
Yep.
Bird, Brun. It's
Yep, run here.
we reached the medical base successfully. We entered the space. We have about two and a half dozen unknown aliens. Unknown aliens. Seems to be 2 different subspecies. Based on sizes, we're definitely looking at what might be families, children, adults, wide range of heights. They seem to be in some sort of cryo sleep. I've got Rosar currently working on increasing life support to this room before we try and wake one up.
Thank you for the update. We are heading over to. We're still on our way to the actual bridge. From there, we're going to see regarding life support, as well as see if we can get some power going into the environmental settings here. That way, we're not frozen by the time we're done with this mission.
Understood. Let me know if you need anything from me.
You said they're in cryo sleep. Is anybody injured?
We're still trying to figure out a way to interface with their pods. Once we get something, we'll be able to get more information on the status of the crew.
Let me get an understanding. So the med bay that you're in, it's all pods that they're in separately?
That's what it seems to be. Individual pods, 2 dozen or so. In
Could
different
probably be
formations.
could probably be the reason why they generate a lot of power to the med bay. Is there any signs of distress, anything that could have resulted in them having to rush into these pods?
Well, there was some sort of writing on the outside, but I'm not a xenolinguist. And there was paint along the entire way.
Yeah,
Perhaps
we
next
ran
time.
into. Mhm.
Perhaps next time we bring someone with language.
You said that there's paint.
Yes, sir.
Where is there? As far as the paint itself, was it placed on any areas that had form of light on it, like from the actual lighting in the room? No.
True.
No,
No, it was all outside shipped paint. There's no real light out there, right?
no. And even as you bring it up, the 3 of you that are heading towards the bridge, you see that there's now graffiti.
Okay.
different shades of purple,
Uh,
but it looks like writing.
It's all purple. Obviously, it's not. It's not
Purple on
in.
this
It's
end,
not
too.
in common. It's not in a common language, right?
Nope.
I forget. Do we have a universal translator yet at this point?
No. You have records and you have different files, but you would need a xenolinguist to kind of take pictures of the writing and then kind of sit there and pore over all the files and see if there's
Let me
like.
tell you, Sato didn't get enough love in the Enterprise show. She was a cool character.
Yep.
Was there any way to scan the graffiti and then send it back to the ship to have them start looking at it? As in, like, digitizing the information, sending it through sensors to our communication officer, who might, fingers crossed, be a xenolinguist, to
No,
then turn around and then try and decipher.
Yeah. You can take pictures of the writing. You can take samples of the paint. Not difficult to send that back to the ship.
And she'll tell our Aussie friend to take a picture of whatever writing was on the pod to send that back so that they could translate that too. Because I can't.
Understood.
Do it.
Does it look like
Understood.
spray paint that we're seeing on the for as far as the writing? Does it look like it was sprayed on there, or was that it was somebody like
No,
a
it
paint
looks
stroke?
smeared.
So does it? It looks like it was in a hurry.
Yeah, it looks like it wasn't a paintbrush or a roller. It looks like it was a hand.
So I'm gonna take a sample of the paint and run the tricorder and see what it tells me the composition is.
Okay.
I'd like to use medicine and reason.
Yeah, that's a good use. It will be a
I think you're
difficulty
doing that,
of
and
one.
not me.
Yeah.
Or do you want science instead of medicine?
No, it would fit under medicine more than anything. Because
I've got a theory here. So.
Yeah, because of the substance. Well, no, let's go science because it is. You're being more broad. You're not looking for what I know it is. And you said reasons. That gives you a total of 14. Do you have any equipment or
I've got
anything?
field medicine.
Okay, so the field medicine.
I imagine we have a basic tricorder.
Yeah.
As the standard equipment kit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this tricorder instead of the
yes
instead of this tricorder.
Yeah, the VCR of a tricorder.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so field medicine will mean that if you roll anything lower than 3 or lower, it'll count as a critical success.
All right, so I got a 1 and a 13.
Okay. So reason is 11, science is 3, so that's 14. So you've got 1 success there, and you got a critical, so that's 2 more successes. So you've got 2 points over. What do you want to do with them? Bank them or use them?
I'm actually going to use obtain information, and so
Okay.
I have studious. Whenever I do obtain information, I get to ask 2 questions instead of 1.
Oh, very smart. Very good.
Look at this guy.
This guy cheating already, bro.
Big brain on Brad.
So the initial scan comes back what you dreaded it was going to be. It is not paint, it is blood.
Grayson, the paint is blood, not paint.
So what are the 2 questions you want to ask now that you know that?
So I'm going to say, is the blood of a composition that makes this species like a standard, like carbon-based life form, or is it something extra weird?
No, they are carbon-based.
Awesome. My second one is actually, I'm gonna ask first like a GM question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Grayson know that Klingons have purple blood?
It is rumored that Klingons have purple blood.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, does this blood look to be?
But they've also been rumored to have green blood too. Like,
I'm gonna go with the purple blood rumors where he's at.
Yeah, fuck it. They're aliens.
I know the Vulcans have green blood, so like, what? So I'm gonna say, does the composition of the blood seem to be in any way related to Klingon? will be my second question.
It is not. From all the information that you've gotten from Vulcans on Klingons, it doesn't match the genome.
All right, so I reach out. Life forms are carbon-based. I do not have any reason to believe that the blood necessarily belongs to the things in the pods, because we haven't seen any wounds on them as of yet. It also does not match any species that we know of purple blood, so it continues to be an unknown.
We also happen to see this by the actual engine room. So we now know that this paint is blood. And judging by the fact that, from what you told me, nobody in those pods have been affected specifically yet. I'm gonna venture to say that we now need to be heightened as far as our awareness. At this moment, something could still be on this ship.
I'm keeping T'Pol in standard security positions.
Yep, please do. Once we get to the bridge, once we get to the cockpit, we're gonna relay what we can find.
You hear the as Ellis opens the doors. Oh, that was fucking easy.
That's never what you want to hear.
I immediately, I'm already positioned with the phaser out.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the first one going in.
Same thing. There's just bursts, like water balloons of purple liquid just explode on the walls.
And this is the cockpit that we're going in.
Yeah,
right?
you're on the bridge. It looks like there are streaks on the floor leading up to where the door is, but then they stop there.
Okay. Distro, if you can, see if you can find out as far as what we can do with as far as the controls. See if you can make sense, considering this is an alien ship. If you can make sense of any of the controls on here.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm gonna start doing a sweep.
Yeah. The second that you go in, Ellis goes in right behind you.
Ellis is not fucking about.
I wouldn't suggest you would, to be honest.
No.
Ellis, it's best that you help.
He's right behind you. I'm just looking to see what would be the most sense, sir, as far as control panel.
Okay, yeah, their controls are right there. Controls are right there.
I'm heading toward him right now.
Yeah, no, and
I'm looking at Ellis like.
No, he's come in and he's looking at the wall behind where the captain would be, and he's just trying to ascertain like what looks familiar and what doesn't, and he just starts to get to work, and you see him attach his sensor to one panel, and then the whole bridge lights up.
Everything turns on.
Yep. And you can hear the thunk, thunk, thunk as section by section the rest of the ship starts to turn on. And he's like, well,
Ellis, what did you just do?
That wasn't what I intended to do, but I'll take it.
Okay. As
the lights come on at the med bay and outside of it, and you see the thunk, thunk. The doors open.
Grayson, start calling him on the intercom.
Go for Grayson. Oh, did anything happen when it powered up like that in my side?
Yeah.
Yes, monitors went from standby on each of the pods to active. And it looks like most, if not all of the people are near death. They've been in a stasis, but they are towards the end of their livable length.
Near death, like they had injuries, or near death, like they can't be in stasis much longer.
They cannot be in stasis much longer.
Go for Grayson.
It looks like they could probably survive another 2 or 3 days before all of their bodies started just to give up.
Go for Grayson.
So, and I imagine you've already saw that the power has been restored thanks to Ensign Ellis.
He salutes you. Sir, my pleasure.
Yeah, it's actually been super helpful. We have managed to get the pods that got power now, and we're able to create some sort of diagnosis. It seems like these people have been in stasis a lot longer than we ever suggest. I mean, not that humans were big on stasis travel anyway, but you should only be frozen for so long.
So let's this I mean, it's great to know that they're still alive. I will at this moment we still have to be concerned with the fact that of what's happened in this ship. We're here on the we're going to go ahead and maintain and continue to monitor here in the cockpit for the moment. We need to go ahead and relay a message over to the Endeavor so that we can start a rescue as far as a transport rescue.
All right. When you get in contact with the Devo, ask him if I should wake up one of the adult-looking ones.
No.
Easter is going to actually connect onto the computer and send the logs to our ship and
Okay.
start reading the logs.
They're in the same kind of language. Nothing
fine.
really
Yeah.
makes sense. But if they have a similar kind of stardate track, it looks like the last time there was a input into it, chronologically speaking, comparing the time that the computer is showing and doing some rudimentary math, it looks like maybe 2 or 3 months.
Are there any plot courses? Are there any, as per their star charts, or any of their? Because I'm going now through sensors, I'm going through their engineering logs, I'm going through their plot courses.
It looks like they're
Anything-
supposed to go towards the sun at the center of the Valakis system.
Okay, I'm sending all that to the ship.
Your intervention has stopped them, and now the computer is asking for what looks to be a command.
Well, so gents,
It almost looks like a yes and no prompt, but
I'm getting this question.
you're not sure.
I don't know. I think I want to pause on this and not really kind of take a picture or, like answer it yet.
What do you think it means then?
Well, respectfully, I think it's telling me if I want to keep going with the course or not.
Do we hear the engines? It sounds like the engines, like as far as impulse engines are on, it's no longer.
No, you can hear that there's a humming that's now evident on the ship because of how quiet everything else is. But it doesn't look like it's going.
Okay.
And the Endeavor would have reached out if to ask if somebody had turned on the engines.
I would not answer that. I would not answer that control panel right now.
Not gonna. I'm bringing that up to you to let you know.
Well, then I start. I like as I look through here.
Mhm.
Is there any way? Actually, Distro, is there any way that you can, now that the ship is on, can you check the sensors to see if there's anything else on this ship?
Can I, storyteller?
Your sensors, there's nothing else on the ship.
The ship.
Their sensors
There-
are going to be
Well-
hard to discover because of the language difficulty.
That's
Mhm.
fine. Let's go. Why not? How often do I get to play? Let's push a button.
Okay. I mean, you can try to make a roll. I don't think you have the dice for it.
That's fine.
Uh,
How much momentum do we have?
you have
I'm
two
gonna try and
momentum.
assist her, so she gets an extra die for my assist.
Okay. How are you assisting her?
It's slow and steady. She's methodically trying to figure out what she's doing.
Oh, It's true.
Not wrong.
Okay.
Well, before you do that, I think that maybe we can try to link. I'm trying to see if it's possible if we can link the Endeavor with our comms to see if they can assist her as well. Because if they are trying to decipher the language, then that would probably help her as well.
Well, the language is going to require time more than anything. But if you're going to ask, if you're going to ask Endeavor to scan the ship, now that the power is up, they can do that. There won't be any roll for that. You just got to abide by their scans.
Well, then we'll go by both. I want Distro to keep doing what she's doing, but we should also ask the Endeavor to see if now that the power's on and now that their systems are up, the ship systems are up, maybe they can at least direct the scan towards the engine room, because that's the only other spot that we saw that was doored up. So try to focus on the engine room specifically, at least with the Endeavor.
Okay. It's going to be a con and insight roll then. For Nimue, it's going to be difficulty 3.
And can I use sensors at all? My focus or computers? I have both.
I mean, you can use them. That just means that if you roll equal to or less than your con, it's a critical success. Your con is a 1, so it automatically is going to become a critical success.
So I have to roll a 12 or under.
You've got to roll a 12 or under. You've got 3 dice right now because you always start with 2. You got 1 from Adam. You have 2 momentum, and you always have the ability to give me more threat. But
should I use momentum, guys, or no? For 4 dice.
I'm going to tell you right now, go ahead and use the momentum. We need to figure something's on this ship. I am wholeheartedly believing that something is on this ship, and we need to figure this out.
So 1 momentum will get you a 4th die. Are you happy with 4 dice?
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck it, all the dice, go. Let's go.
That's everything on this roll.
Just want to make sure that you don't get upset if you don't make the success.
My life is upset. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I've got a 13, a 3, a 6, and an 11.
All right, so the 3 that you needed.
Fuck you, 13. I wanted you to be something else.
Nothing over to help.
Hey, sorry, guys.
Yep.
What are you sorry about? You succeeded.
Yes. The ship comes back after a few minutes and tells you that with the power restored, it's made it easier to kind of scan the ship. It's picking up the 6 crew members. It's picking up 42 other lives in the medbay. Excuse me. And then it's picking up 1 large mass in the cargo containment unit.
But not in the engine room.
No, nothing in the engine room.
So there's 42 other people or 42 other lives somewhere and 1 huge mass in the cargo bay. Fuck you all. We're not going in the cargo bay right now.
Oh.
But there's 42 others.
Well, that's about what I counted. That sounds about right.
You feel the ship.
Is what he said.
Yeah, you feel the ship jerk, and the lieutenant comes in on the comm. We're bringing the ship closer, just so everyone's aware, and we'll start to work on our bridge. Yeah, but if these people need help, then we need to do that for them.
She sends the scans over to the Endeavor so they see her scans from the ship. And she'll go, watch it. There's something in the cargo bay, and I don't think we want to find out what it is at the moment.
All right. We'll focus some sensors on that then.
Hey.
So now that we've got life support in the ship, right?
Yep.
Breathable atmosphere.
It not yet. It's still suboptimal.
Okay. So in that case, we're not.
The only
waking anyone
concern,
up yet.
the only
Yeah.
concern I have about all this is that whatever mass is in the cargo bay, now that the power is on, I assume that mass may be shifting. If it is somebody that's moving, or something. So as far as for the 42, like how far is the cargo bay from the med bay?
The med bay is on the lowest level, the third deck, and the cargo bay is on the second deck. They're not too far from each
But
other, like
it's-
maybe 10-minute
they're-
climb.
Okay. The only reason why I say that is because if there is a reason why all of these people are still in their still in pods, there has to be a reason why these people have survived if there is a large mass located in the cargo bay. If this is Ferengi, considering that this is what we lead that to believe a Ferengi ship, then that means that this could possibly be its ship. So we don't know who these people are in these pods. Do you guys think this is some kind of transport for these people, or something more sinister?
Being that this
Uh,
was actually trajected to go into the sun of this star system over here, what do you think?
I'm getting the feeling that I don't like to say it, but Nemu might be right. There might be some sort of monster, and they were trying to launch it into the sun, and we stopped it. But
And being that this
Yeah.
is also blood on the walls,
yeah, that doesn't mean the monster's a bad guy. They just didn't understand it.
oh sweet
Yeah.
Jesus! Are you trying to say that this is a good monster and that they locked themselves up in life support because they didn't want to be friends?
Well,
Wait, but
yeah,
in your
just
general,
be grumpy.
again, we're only in our tricorder. We're not talking to
Yeah.
the ship right now.
No.
But the tricorder, I go. So then, from my understanding and your logic, you're saying that they put this ship to the sun by them or by what's in the cargo bay?
That was a saying back in the place where I was from. Why not both?
Okay, but that makes then why would one keep the other
All right.
Because
stable?
probably, and this is just a hypothetical, is we haven't opened up the pods. We don't know if these people have suffering from maybe an unseen and unknown illness that the thing in the cargo bay may or may not have given them. And probably, why not get out patient zero with all the other infected that cannot be cured? Or they may be holding, parasites in their stomach waiting to burst. Who knows?
So you're saying to save everyone, they have plotted a course to the sun as a
I
suicide mission?
Well, I
I
kind
believe,
of
I
read
believe
their.
that's what she's saying.
I kind of
Then
read
why
the captain's log.
then why put yourselves in pods?
So
If
you
you're
don't
gonna
suffer.
commit a
Hey,
Tapaw's voice comes up in on the conversation. The ensign is true. Is speaking true. There is no reason to have life support for a suicide mission.
kind of like what they were doing. Earth.
Ensign Bruin, as much as I regret to go against the logic of the situation, I do think going to the cargo bay would be the best option. Seeing it for ourselves will assuage one or the other, as far as theories are concerned.
Right. Maybe he's just grumpy.
May I ask, does the situation in the med bay look secure at the moment?
We're waiting on the atmosphere to come up completely before we can wake one up.
Yeah, let's.
Tapaw is like, there is time to go to the cargo bay then, as humans are fond of saying. Killing time is presented itself.
Just say that
Okay.
it wasn't what it was.
I'm sorry. To your I understand. Every human that I've run into has a different dialect, and yours I was very incomprehensible. What did you say?
Right.
That sounds racist.
A little bit.
Xenophobe. Xenophobe.
Sounds very excellent.
We're even speaking the same language.
I know, right? You and I at least understand each other. What I was trying to say is there is something big in the cargo bay. Now, call me superstitious,
All right, you're superstitious.
but I don't think we're going to worry about that at the moment because that could be lead to a whole big service of problems.
Ellis looks up. Sir, I don't think it's going to be a problem. There's a system here that's keeping the cargo bay locked.
Oh, well, that's good. We can't just waltzing in
No,
there and
I
finding out what the fuck's going to
I
kill
don't
us.
think that I could get in there if I tried. We would need the
Good point.
blowtorch.
Good, we have a blowtorch.
I look over at Distro and I go, well, if we speak about this ship, he's pretty much like, I guess we're talking slow. So I guess
Yep.
I'll talk slow to her as well.
Oh, I can understand it
Since the
perfectly.
ship has made for a larger person or humanoid to walk through the area, I imagine the large mass may be part of this ship. He
We do
may,
realize
for all... I'm sorry, I interrupted while you were speaking.
I stopped because I realized you weren't done. So she just kind of like,
No, this is,
go
at this
on.
point, the teller, at this point, Brun's like, all right, I see where this is going. So, but
I'm going to take my blowtorch and go down to the cargo bay then, and then we can make a decision there if we want to get in or not. But right now, no one speaking slow or fast is getting in or out of that place.
That's good because at least we can turn around and find out what's going on with those people.
He takes the blowtorch and
Give
just
us a-
leaves.
Oh, Jesus.
hold up, bro. I would say hold up. I'm going to be going with you now. Distro, if you want to stay here, check the systems. We can link with each other as far as communication goes. You can also track for us as far as sensor reading if that does happen to shift or move in the cargo bay before we arrive. Are you
Sure.
good with that?
I
Yeah.
suggest, Brett, I suggest you take Tapar with you as well. I've got plenty of. I'm able to keep security for Rosar and myself while you guys handle that.
Understood. To Bob, I'll go ahead and meet you in front of cargo bay then.
I'm on my way, sir.
As we're walking away, and I'm walking away from Distro, I go, I actually starting to like that person. Just as
Yeah, she's finally coming out of her shell.
no, she's finally arguing with me. That's what.
Yeah.
That's
Now we are
that's all it's
friends.
needed. now we are friends now. If you'll start to notice the less I argue with people, the less I think about that person. So.
Yep.
Poor Nemo. She's not ready for it.
No. But
Being friends with a Tellarite.
as Nemu can see the bridge of the ship kind of being turned towards the Endeavor, as Brun and Ellis are on their way to the cargo bay, and as Adam and Rosar are kind of making the best of the situation in the medical bay, I think this is a good point to call it for today. So thank you guys for being a part of this first of 2 episodes. How does it feel? What are we thinking about the system? I don't think anybody's a stranger to the Modifius 2D20 system.
I can't say enough nice things about the Modifius system.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually liking it.
And we haven't gotten a chance to do a ton.
Yeah.
But I think I've only ever run larger groups, and I've never gotten the chance to play.
Yeah.
I think the smaller group we're doing a really good job of like obtain information, create advantage,
Yeah.
talk things through.
Yep.
I tell everybody that the Modiphius Star Trek system is the most Star Trek system in existence.
Yep.
Because it's entirely up to the player. The way I always explain it to people is like, oh, you come up to a door, and like the engineer's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to use control plus engineering, and I'm going to cut a hole in the panel and find the manual release. Or the Vulcan's like, well, I'm just going to use security plus body or whatever, and just tear it open. Oh, it's reason plus science, and I'm going to hack it. And you just like make shit up as you go along, which is as Star Trek as it gets.
Okay.
I'm a giant nerd, so
Yeah. No, so am I.
I'm also very. It's also very interesting to see that this is the first character I ever play that's actually leading, which is very odd for my character to do.
Yeah. Look at you
For me
giving
as a
orders.
player to do, yeah.
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 Giving orders, being responsible. A
I know.
far cry from Erickson Wood.
I'm totally here for you being in charge.
Yeah. No, that's,
Yeah, look at you growing as a player, bro.
yeah, this is the antithesis of 7C
Yes.
because Frecky would not at all be that's the last person you'd be like, what should we do? Frecky's like, well,
I'm still trying
We're
to
gonna
figure
give
out
it a
my
hug.
dog's real name.
yeah.
He has other things to worry about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Other concerns.
thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm excited to see what happens with part 2. I don't think anyone is ready for the truth of the situation. But as always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. So we'll start with the face we haven't seen in a long time. Rurik, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
All right, so I actually have something to plug, which is weird because I never have anything to say. So my Patreon, you can find me as Mr. Ulfhammer on Patreon. It's Mr. Ulfhammer's Maps and Miscellany. I am about to publish my first D&D supplement on DriveThruRPG. It should be up by the end of July.
Nice.
It's called
Sweet.
Dungeons and Derbies, and it's rules for roller derby in 5th edition.
Wow, that hasn't existed until now?
Not that I could find, and so like I decided to go at it.
Good job.
I got some really good art going. Megan's
Yes.
handling my layout.
Megan.
And so if you are one of my patrons, you have already seen the rules. So like that's a cool thing to get the chance for people to do.
Nice.
Aside from that, no, nobody ever gets to see me because I am busy.
Okay. We'll go over to Kenny. Kenny, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
You can find me on personally through Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms as Mr. _ with the underscore in between each word. You can also find the TikTok that I have channel called Bears Creator Die Bears Love Gaming. I'm also, you'll find me here on this channel either right now as a Tellarite, usually a pirate, usually a vampire. I've been a bird. There's a lot of things that I've been on this channel. But yeah, you can find me on Ravnos Archon. And also my parents are not watching this one, but you know, I'm gonna see if I can bring my brothers around because they both are Star Trek nerds.
Yeah, that's how it starts. It's a gateway drug.
So I'm gonna try to see if I can get them on it, especially if what I feel is gonna happen in the second episode is probably gonna be a lot of fuckery. So yeah.
Yeah, we got some fuckery coming.
I think you know what? Given how all of you were talking about me and my storytelling, I don't think you're ready for what's coming in the next episode. So I look forward to subverting expectations. But last and definitely not least, Junie, what are you up to? Where can we find you online if you want to be found?
On the internet, why? Because it's easy to rope me into these games, which I love playing. You can find me on my channel where I turn around and I choke yarn or strangle yarn, however you want to call them, because why not? It's fun, they look adorable, and they suck the negativity out of your life to at least help you have a decent day. Other than that, you will find me here every other Tuesday being a Scion, or you will see me here on 7C dealing with Fereke and the crazy wolfhound that has no name anymore because he doesn't like his name. You will also see me, like on tonight, I will be on McStabber's Storytelling, Chicago Hidden City. And I am also there for a moment of Wednesdays because I'm not shackled to the Wednesday time slot like Ravenos is. And I will be there briefly. But other than that, that's where I'm at.
Nice. But yeah, thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm excited for the next part. As always, you can catch us here on Monday for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, Tuesday for Werewolf of the Wild West or Scion 1st edition, and Thursdays alternating between Legend of the Five Rings 4th edition or 7C. And catch us next week at this exact time on Saturday for part 2, or conclusion to our 2-part miniseries to showcase Modiphius Star Trek Adventures. Also, as always, as we say goodbye on the channel, we take mental health very serious on the channel, so please, if you feel like you need help, just know that there are resources out there. Please take advantage of them while we still have access to them. If you live in the United States like most of us do, shit is rough. I understand that things are not going to get easier, but just know, worst case scenario, you can always go to findthehelpline.com to find the resources in your area or nearest you that will acclimate to your needs. Because there are very dark times ahead, and we need all the help we can get, and we just need to remember that we are not alone in this, and that there are people out there who want to help us, who are trained to help us, and who will help us, and all it takes is that first step. So please do not be afraid to take that first step. But as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We will see you when we see you. Have a good night, live long and prosper. Bye.
Fuck down.